Our commencement speaker today is Patrick McInnis. Mr. McInnis has served as Chief Executive Officer of Fathead LLC since 2009. Perhaps best known for their life-size graphics of professional athletes, this Michigan-based company is the industry leader of officially licensed sports and entertainment graphics. In 2013, Fathead was named a top workplace by the Detroit Free Press for the 4th time. Prior to Fathead, Mr. McInnis worked 16 years at the Quicken Loans Corporation, including serving as President and Chief Operating Officer from 2003 until 2009. He joined the company in 1993 as a mortgage banker and rose through the ranks to become a branch manager and a regional branch manager. Mr. McInnis is an avid sportsman and minority owner of the Cleveland Cavaliers NBA basketball franchise. He is a native of Flint, Michigan, and completed his bachelor's degree in criminal justice from Saginaw Valley State University in 1988. Please join me in honoring and welcoming our speaker this evening, Patrick McInnis.
Thank you. It's an honor to be back here, and thank you, Board of Trustees, faculty. So I promise you, I will only take about 40 minutes, okay? You good with that? I'm just kidding, okay? 7 to 10 minutes. And see, I knew it. And I'll tell you why, too. First of all, I never thought I'd be up here wearing one of these, but this is pretty awesome. Thank you for having me. So as I was preparing for my speech, I was perplexed. I didn't know what to say because recently I've been to some college graduations, and even thinking back to my own, I couldn't remember who gave the speech. I couldn't remember what they said. Now, you may think I'm a poor listener. I don't think so, but it was more of the same. So what I came up with today was 7 principles that I would have liked to have known when I was sitting in your chair in December of 1988 as I was getting ready to enter the workforce. So I'm going to give you 7 things, and hopefully we can get one of them to stick, right? Because here's my goal tonight. You may not remember who I am 5 minutes after this is over. You may not remember what company I was associated with, but hopefully if you can take away one thing tonight that can make a difference in your career, I feel like I did my job. So are you with me on that? Okay. Here we go. Always be raising your level of awareness. So in the workplace, there's an interesting phenomenon. You know, as human beings, we're creatures of habit, right? You drive the same way to school or work. You walk in the same door. You walk to your desk the same way. You walk to the coffee station the same way. And things are changing, and you don't even see them. So Yogi Berra, who many of you may not know, I don't really remember him, but he said an interesting quote. He said, you can see a lot just by looking. And so what I'm asking you to do is be curious, because awareness is a choice. Be curious. Ask questions, because if you do that in the organizations that you're part of, I guarantee you, you will see things that need to be fixed, that are broken, that can be improved, and you will be labeled a difference maker. And when you're labeled a difference maker, you're separating yourselves from your peers. This next one is near and dear to my heart. We are the they. You're probably wondering, well, what does that mean? So we hire a lot of new people in Detroit, and they'll come in and I'll ask them a question, and I'll say, well, why did you do that? Well, because they said to do it. Well, who's they? So, you know, you have the worker bees, right? They're in the trenches getting the job done. And then you have the leaders over here. And they say, well, it was my leader. Then you go to the leader and you say, well, you know, what's going on over here? Well, I don't know why they did it. I mean, there is no they. It's we. You're one. You're a team. If you have a we mentality when you go into your respective businesses or organizations, you will take ownership. You now start to create an ownership mentality. So when they come to you, you say, no, we're we. And you can question things. You can make a difference. There's 3 types of people in this world. There's people who watch things happen. There's people who wonder what happened. And there's people who make things happen. Okay, number 5. Choose optimism, and you can change the outcome. I call it the optimism life cycle. right? Every day we get up, things happen to us, right? We interact with people, events happen, and then thoughts start to get created. The critical point in this life cycle, because what do you put into that thought process? Is the glass half empty or is it half full? Do you put negative thoughts or do you put optimism? Because what happens from there, that thought becomes a feeling, which then becomes an emotion, which then becomes a behavior, which creates consequences. Negative in, negative out. Positive in, positive out. Number 4, you need to create raving fans of you in whatever organization you're part of. This is important because let me tell you what, you can be the smartest person in your organization. You can be the hardest worker, but if you want to move up, you have to create relationships with the people that you work with because they will become your advocates. Well, how do you do that? Well, you take interest in people. Everybody has a story. It's your job to read the book, understand the story. Well, how do you do that? You listen. You actively listen. You don't sit and wait to say the next word out of your mouth. You listen to what people say. You take curiosity. Okay? The more you give, the more you get. If you give to the people that you work with, you will get more in return. So here's how it works. When people know you care about them, they begin to trust you. And when they trust you, they become insanely loyal. And when they become insanely loyal, they become your raving fans. You want to move up in an organization? Create raving fans. Just like negativity and gossip spreads throughout school, throughout a workplace, that will spread too. Number 3, yes before no. Well, we live in a society where no is just easy. We have a bias towards no for a number of reasons. But I'm asking you to have a bias towards the yes side of life. Because if you say yes, you now open your mind up to creativity and innovation. Now, doesn't mean everybody that comes to you with ideas or asking for something that you're yes, 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 yes. But it opens your mind up to a new world. Because it's real easy to say no for a number of reasons. A, it's easy. B, because if you say yes, that might mean change. And people are just scared to death of change. And so if you can embrace change and find the good in it, you will separate yourself from your peers. Number 2, it's one of my favorites. Innovation is rewarded. Execution is worshiped. I'm going to use a football analogy for you guys who play football in here. So an idea is like getting to the 50-yard line. An idea plus executing on that idea is like scoring a touchdown. Okay, ideas, we need them. But if an idea doesn't move to execution, it's nothing more than a great idea. So I'm challenging you. If you have ideas, I see this with a lot of young people coming into our organization, think through how you can implement it. And if you can't implement it, to find somebody that can. Number 1, money follows. It doesn't lead. And I'm here to tell you, I'm living proof. If you chase money, you will be chasing it probably for the rest of your life, and you may not be that happy doing it. What you need to do, you need to chase the skills and the knowledge that it will take for you to be successful at what you're doing at this time. I see so many people who just want to move down the road. Oh, I want to make this, and I want this job, but they don't take care of business today. So my challenge to you is don't chase the money, okay? I would encourage you to chase being seen. And this is anecdotal, but that talks to work ethic. Be the first one in, the last one to leave. Here's the difference. Make sure your peers see it. Make sure the people that you work for see that work ethic. Because what starts to happen now, they see a person who's committed to improving their skill set. They see somebody who has the work ethic, and you will move up in that organization. So, in closing, success is not one big thing. It's a bunch of inches put together that will equal success. And now I just want to take a moment just to share a personal story because I'll never have this opportunity again. Or maybe I will, I don't know. The president will have me back, I don't know. But I came to SVSU in 1987, and I went to a previous college. And I came here, my grade point was in probably the low ones. I really do believe if I would have had 1/10 less on my grade point, I may have been considered a plant instead of a human. But the good news is, things turned around, graduated with 3.75. But the reason that happened was because of SVSU. and the great staff here who took interest in me. And one gentleman in particular, he was a criminal justice professor at the time, and he was a really young guy back then, really young. And his name was Don Bashan, now President Bashan. And President Bashan took a guy who had lacked self-confidence, who lost all his self-confidence. Emotionally, I was a train wreck. My grades were awful. And this man took interest in me. We talked about that relationship piece. He took interest in me. And quite frankly, he turned my life around. And I'll never forget that. It does choke me up a little bit because, you know, I've told him this before. And if it wasn't for him, I don't think I would be here today. So I just want to say special thanks, President Bashan. So thank you. I wish you much success, and I hope that many of you will come work in the city of Detroit. Thank you.